So Wales stick with pretty much the same team to face Ireland in Dublin, except for one key change. So let's not mess around, let's get straight into looking at the teams. My name's Christian, and this is the Welsh Sports Podcast. So, as ever, I'll go through the teams, and then we can have a talk about what we think about the squad. So, starting with the forwards, we have Gareth Thomas, Elliot Dee, Kieran Azarati, Dav Jenkins, captain Adam Beard keeping his position in the second row under pressure from Will Rowlands, Alex Mann at 6, Tommy Raffel at 7, and Aaron Wainwright rounding out the forwards. And then at the backs, we've got Thomas Williams at 9, Sam Costello comes in for Ioan Lloyd at 10, Rio Dyer on one wing, Josh Adams on the other, Tompkins and North in the centres, and Winnett at fullback. So then on the bench, Ryan Elias keeps his spot. The props are Corey Domachowski, and Dylan Lewis comes in for the injured Archie Griffin. Will Rowlands stays on the bench, as we said. In comes Mackenzie Martin for potentially his first cap, replacing Tane Basham. Kieran Hardy keeps his spot. Ioan Lloyd moves to the bench, and Mason Grady rounds off the rest of the bench. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this squad selection. It's good to see some continuity from Gatland, and I think he's honing in on what he thinks is his best squad, so that's a good thing. I guess there's a bit of debate whether Adam Beard should have kept his position over Will Rowlands, something I spoke about in my last video. Most people, including me, would have picked Rowlands, but I can sort of understand why he's gone with Beard. Beard's obviously the line-out captain, and his defensiveness in that line-out might be something that Gatland's looked at as an important factor, because Ireland's got that big strong power game and they target line-outs, so maybe that's what kept him, Will Rowlands on the bench. Also, maybe he wants a bit of an impact from Will Rowlands, but I would have liked to see Rowlands coming from the start with that big, strong carrying game and the big, strong defensive game. The other talking point really is probably the Costello coming in at 10, which is another thing that I'm happy about. I think a lot of people, judging by my last video's comments, wanted Ioan Lloyd. I wanted Costello. I took a bit of flack in the comments for that, but I think Costello is the best option going forward. I think he's the most complete 10. I think Ioan Lloyd's probably got a higher ceiling, which is something that a lot of people pointed out, and I would tend to agree, but I just don't think he's an international 10. So I think Costello just needs a run. Hopefully he doesn't get injured and he can have a run of games and maybe make that jersey his own. I'm not too sure. The other thing that's interesting, of course, is the bench. A lot was made of the bench coming on last week against England and actually having a negative impact on Wales's performance. Ryan Elias is obviously someone who's come under a lot of fire from myself and just the general Welsh rugby public. He's kept his position. I guess if someone else was available, maybe he would have lost it, but there's no other real options, especially in the squad. Whether he was going to draft someone from the outside was a talking point, but he's decided to back Elias, which is fair enough. But this is like, I wouldn't want the pressure of coming on if I was him, and you can imagine how much Ireland are going to target his first few throws in particular, and if it goes wrong at the start, I don't know, I just wouldn't want to be him. So, hopefully he has a big game and he proves everyone wrong, but we'll see. The other introductions to the bench is Dylan Lewis, who comes in for the injured Archie Griffin. Not mad at this. He's obviously got experience. Not the best scrummager, but he's good around the park. I would have personally liked to have seen Tom Botha called up. He's now eligible through residency, so I would have liked to have seen him. I think he's probably the best scrummaging prop we have in Wales. But even though he's South African, I know he's a bit older, but so is Dylan Lewis, so I would have gone with him personally, but that is what it is. Really excited to see Mackenzie Martin get a run out. I'm not sure if that's for an injury or if it's just for performance, but he was really good coming off the bench. He came off the bench quite early for Cardiff this weekend against Connacht, and he carried really dominantly, so that's really good to see. It's obviously Gatland's rewarded him for that performance. I think he must have seen something in the camp that he likes the look of. So it's good to see that Mackenzie Martin is going to be another uncapped player that probably gets his first cap. So these youngsters getting blooded and getting an opportunity, which is great, because I think he's definitely could potentially be our number 8 in the future. So that's great to see. Kieran Hardy, for me, is one that's surprising that he keeps his spot. I thought Gareth Davis getting dropped was like a bit of a wake-up call for Gareth Davis. Not that I feel like he deserved it, but I just think that was Gatland's thinking. But apparently not, because he's not brought him back in. So it's very interesting, because before this Six Nations, a lot was made about Gareth Davis being a leader in the squad. So yeah, don't really know what that's about. I'd like to know what you guys think about that one. And then Ioan Lloyd and Mason Grady, if there's going to be two players that can come off and change a game and make an impact, I think those guys are certainly it. So it's an interesting bench. Josh Adams obviously keeps his place. As long as he's fit, I'm happy with that, but he just hasn't seemed that way. But I'm just quite happy to see a general stability about the team. Like I said, I think Gatland is honing in now on what he knows is his best team. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys get on now. This is going to be the biggest test. It's going to be a massive test for these young players to step up. It's going up a notch again from Twickenham, and the standard is going to be so much higher. So it is going to be learning at the coalface for these guys. I don't see much of a route to victory for Wales. A lot of people have said that Ireland's scrum is somewhere we can get at them, or they can be got at, but I just don't think we have the players to do that. We've got like Gareth Thomas and Azarati, who are decent scrummagers, but not really attacking, more the mobile, hold your own at the scrum and then be good around the pitch. So I don't see that as an area where we can really attack them. Other than that, I don't think we're going to get blown out. I don't think it's going to be a bloodbath. I think we'll hopefully keep it close going into the last 20, and then who knows. I hate to use the cliche, this is like a free hit for the team, because at the end of the day, they're professional rugby players, but it kind of is. I mean, as long as they don't get blown out and they put on a good performance, that's all we can ask for, and hopefully then target France and Italy going into the last two games. But that's just my thoughts. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.